Bright QT. Every student matters.
Hello students, now let's do the questions for this portion of the chapter. The first question we have is, would you be able to check if water is hard using a detergent? Now we know that hard water, the presence of hard water can be checked with soap because scum would be formed in it. But with detergent we cannot check because detergent forms lather, that is, it goes through the cleaning process in both hard and soft water. So we will not be able to use detergent because it lathers both in hard water and in soft. People use a variety of methods to wash clothes. Usually after adding soap, they beat the clothes on stone, beat it with a paddle, scrub it with a brush, or agitate it in washing machine. So what is the need of this agitation? What is the need of this entire process of applying force on the cloth? Now what happens is that we've already started missile formation. So the missile detaches the grease or the dirt from the cloth, but it is still lying on the surface. For it to be washed off, removed from the surface, it needs an external source that would take it away, and that is why all this agitation is taking place. The next question is, why does missile formation takes place when soap is added to water? Will a missile formed in other solvents such as ethanol also? And explain the formation of scum when hard water is treated with soap. So soap molecule has two ends, and one is hydrophilic, the other is hydrophobic. The hydrophilic end dissolves in water and the hydrophobic end dissolves in hydrocarbon. When soap is added to the water, the ionic end of soap will form a unique orientation and keep hydrocarbon tail away from it. This entire structure formation you've already studied is called as missile formation. The cluster of molecule is formed, and this cluster is called as missile. This missile formation will not happen in the absence of water because ethanol will not allow for this process to take place. Now the next question is, why does missile formation takes place when soap is added to water? Will a missile also be formed in other solvents such as ethanol? The answer for the second portion is no, and you will be able to understand it when we address the first part. So soap molecules have two ends with different properties. One end is hydrophilic and the other which dissolves in water, and the other is hydrophobic, which dissolves in the hydrocarbon. When soap is added to the water, the ionic end of the soap will form unique orientation and keep the tail away from it. This cluster formation leads to the structure formation of missile. Now missile is formed only because these two properties of hydrophilic and hydrophobic nature separate the grease from the grease or the dirt from the cloth. But for this to happen, the water needs to be present, then only missile would be formed, as one end is hydrophilic, which means water loving, and the other end is hydrophobic, which means water repelling. Because in ethanol, water, the hydrophilic end will not show, and soap is soluble in ethanol, hence missile formation would not take place. What changes will you observe if you test soap with litmus paper, red or blue? So soap is basic in nature. Let's move on to the next question. What change will you observe if you test soap with litmus paper, red or blue? So since soap is basic in nature, it would turn red litmus into blue. It would react with, change the color of red litmus to blue. The next part is explain the mechanism of cleansing action of soap. So soap molecule has two ends. The charged end gets attracted towards water and hence is called as hydrophilic. Philic means loving. The long carbon chain that gets repelled by water is called as hydrophobic end. So this is how it looks. This end is called as hydrophobic and this end is hydrophilic. When soap is dissolved in water, the carbon chain, that is hydrophobic end, gets attracted towards the oil and the grease. So you see that the carbon chain is getting attracted to the oil and the grease. The hydrophilic end stays away from it because it is water loving, it stays away from the dirt and the grease. The missile formation takes place, and this structure gets surrounded by the hydrophobic carboxylic chains, and that removes the dirt from the surface. It gets freed and missile formation takes place. Then with agitation and rinsing, the dirt or the grease is completely washed off from the cloth or the utensil. So when you agitate it, this is already removed from the surface and then it gets completely washed away. And that is how the soap reacts to clean either clothes or utensils. That's all for this portion. Thank you.